Hi there, scholars. Okay, here we are in Unit 3, Lesson 5. We'll be talking about congruent triangles and relationships in triangles. Today you'll be able to name and use corresponding parts of congruent polygons, and you'll be able to prove triangles congruent using the definition of congruence. Okay, so you've done the do now. I probably explained this live in class, but I'm going to go ahead and do it again. We're asked what is the length of the sides of this equilateral triangle. So we're going to take two of these sides. If it's equilateral, that means all of these sides are congruent. Okay, so if that's the case, then let's just make two of these expressions equal to one another. So I'll take 3x plus 6, and I'll set that equal to 9x minus 12. Okay, so just going to move in some things around here. I'm going to move minus 3x so I can keep my x's positive. At the same time, I'm going to add 12. Okay, so now I'm left with 18 is equal to 9x minus 3x would be 6x. Last step here will just be divide because it's the opposite of multiplying, which these are multiplied right now. So 6 times x, now 6 divided by 6 on both sides. I'm left with 1x equals 18 divided by 6 is 3. Okay, so that being the case, I'm going to have to go ahead and substitute in to any one of these values. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that over here in blue. I'll say, okay, well, 3 times x plus 6. I'm taking this one right here. And I'll say 3 times 3, which is 9, plus 6. And so 15 would be our final answer here. C is the correct one. All right, let's move on. So today we're talking about triangle congruence, right, and the relationships within those triangles. So we recall from the beginning of geometry that the word congruent means equal or the same. Okay, it means equal or the same. So look at those two line segments there. You have AB, right, is congruent to CD. So I'm right here in this area. So the congruent symbol, we all know, looks like this. Look at these angles in green over here, right? These are 115-degree angles. They don't have to be oriented the same way. They can be in different positionings, but they are congruent. In fact, they're equal. They're the same size. So these angles would be congruent as well. Similarly, if two triangles are congruent, they will have exactly the same shape. So let's go ahead and write this out here. Same shape. And exactly the same size. So size and shape. Okay, so size, whoops, there's no cursive writing there. Size and shape. Very important. Both must be the same for two triangles to be congruent. Alrighty. So identifying congruent parts. Two congruent triangles are shown below. I see ABC, and the other one that would be like TRS or STR, however you want to label that. But it does matter. So the two congruent triangles are shown below. Let's label the corresponding congruent parts. So let's look at the angles. Look at angle, we'll take angle B first here. Actually, we'll take angle A. Okay, if I look at this, I see A has one of these little marks here which indicates A would be congruent to, in this particular would be T. Okay, so here would be T. Okay, when I look at the other part over here, let's take C over here, the corresponding angle would be S. So C goes with S, or is congruent to S. And lastly, we see here angle B and angle R have no, or they look identical because they have neither one of them has any kind of markings. So angle B is congruent to angle R. Well, the sides would be very, very similar, right? So if let's take the first one here. We'll take A to B. Okay, A to B here. I'll do it here in blue here, A to B. Well, the one that would look from would go this way would be theta r. So side AB, and notice the direction I'm doing it, AB and TR. The next one we'll take would be, let's do it here in green, would be B to C. Okay, so B to C, so BC. And, that's just like the line segment symbol. And that would also go here with R to S. Now notice the direction does matter at this point. I wouldn't say SR, I would say RS. Right? Those are the congruent parts. And lastly, I'll just do it here in red, C to A. C to A. Well, in this case would be S to T. S to T here. Right? So C, A, and S to T. And of course, these are line segments. I should have put these up here. Okay. So we've identified the congruent parts of this particular triangle, or these particular triangles. Okay, so congruency statement. So I'm right up here. I know this is kind of hard to read, so I'll read it aloud. When two triangles are congruent, you can write a congruency statement to represent congruent parts. In a congruency statement, the letters in the name of each triangle are written so that the corresponding parts are written in the same order. So order does matter. So follow me. I'm right here. Now, this part here is very hard to read, so I went ahead and rewrote it there or typed it out. So follow me. Start by naming one of the triangles in any order. Okay? Once you name your first triangle, order does matter in the second triangle. So I'm going to go here in blue, and I'm going to talk about this triangle right here. Okay? So I'm going to just say EDR, because for me I'm going to say DER. How about that? D to E to R. So I'll say D, E, and R. Now notice, that's all fine and well, but I have to follow the same pattern, the same way I labeled DER to label the other triangle. So in this case, I'll just do it in green here. I'll do it in blue as well. If you notice, I had a 3 marked angle there, well, that would be here, and then I had a 2 marked angle here. That was my second step. So you notice that would be this one here. So it would have to be B, U, and then lastly it goes to L, right? Because E to L, E to R is the same as U to L. So now notice that these are all corresponding sides. D and B together, E and U, and R and L. Okay, so the order does matter in the second triangle. It's very important. Okay, let's move on. So my turn. Let's go ahead and take this one here. Use the given congruency statement to identify congruent triangles, angles, and sides. So triangle BOX is congruent to triangle CAR. Boxcar. Okay, so angle B is congruent to angle C. Angle O is congruent to angle A. Angle X is congruent to angle R. Same way, I would say BO is congruent to CA. OX, notice the order, would be AR congruent. And then XB would have to go along with RC. Okay? All right, let's go on. Your turn. Go ahead and take a few seconds here and try it on your own. Go ahead and push pause. Okay, so triangle sun, SUN is congruent to triangle RAY, sun ray. So SUN is congruent, right? This is congruency symbol, which means equal or the same to RAY. Okay, so let's do this again. S goes with R. U goes with A. I'm going a little bit quicker because you should have already done this. N goes with Y. SU goes with RA. UN goes with AY. And NS goes with YR. And that's it. It may also help if you actually kind of sometimes do this first. SUN, and I did RAY, and see how these particular triangles, sun and ray, when they're actually drawn out, how it may help to look at it that way. Okay? Alrighty. Okay, our turn here. Use the given congruency statement to find the missing measures. We have triangle red is congruent to triangle hot, red hot. RED is congruent to HOT. So just for the sake of kind of, we see these are not oriented the same way, so angle R goes with angle H. I'll go color coding here. Until the E goes with O. I'll do the last one. D goes with T here in green, okay? Okay, so filling in those pieces here, I'll just put in the R, H, E, E goes with O, and then D goes with T. Sides again would be RE goes with HO. Okay, ED goes with OT. And DR is congruent to TH. Okay, so DR is congruent to TH. Sorry, writing and speaking at the same time kind of get a little challenging. So all we have to do here then is identify some stuff here. So look, we have RE and HO, right? So that's from here to here, and HO goes from here to here, which means that this negative 3z plus 4 is equal to 16. So let's go ahead and set that up. We don't have to do it in order the way they tell us here. So when I set it up, I should get, okay, so I should get this here. Now, let's take another one here. ED, this side right here, and OT, this side right here, also go together. So let's go ahead and create another statement here. We'll say 3 equals 21. Right? So 3 times 3w minus 2 equals 21 because those two sides are congruent. And lastly, I'll just do here in green, okay, dr and th. So dr here and th here. Now, we're not asked to solve anything there. However, we do notice that d and t are congruent. That being the case, then y equals 60 degrees. So we're actually kind of given one piece of that puzzle. We just seen here as well, we're asked for x right here, and angle O and angle E, again, are congruent, so I can set this up. 5x minus 7 would equal 48 degrees. So let's go ahead and solve these equations now. Go ahead and push pause and you can solve them on your own, or you can see how I do it in a few seconds. And after you finish that, your work should look like this, and I've just filled in all the pieces that we were asked for here. Okay. If you have any questions, you can always reach out on how I work the algebra if you need that. Otherwise, you can see how I did the step-by-step process. All right, let's move on. Okay, you'll move through these independent practice problems. Make sure to box in your answers, and also be sure to show your work on the exit ticket. Very important, right? So I can give you partial credit if we don't get, or I can see where the gaps are. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and start the first one with you here. Lesson 3-4, congruent triangles, independent practice. What are the congruent triangles in the diagram? Okay, here, so let's go ahead and establish here we have our angles, right? So we have our angles, then we have our sides, kind of like we did in the first practice. Okay, so our angles, the congruency, I'm just going to go here, here, here and do the same thing over here, because we're going to do the same thing with the side. Okay, so A and C are congruent. B, and don't let this throw you off, B is part of both triangles. So B would actually be congruent to B in this particular situation. And E is congruent to angle D. Let's go ahead and do the same thing for the sides. AB, here to here, and here to here. Those guys are congruent. So AB and CB. Oh, maybe I said D, but CB. Then we have BE, this side here. BE. Okay, that's congruent to BD. And order matters. And of course, EA and DC. Okay, so we've established that. Now, let's go ahead and now look at our answer choices. ABC, that's not even a triangle. That can't even be it. That's wrong. AEB, okay, so let's do this here. So that's wrong. We'll go to option B. ABE, from ABE, is congruent to CB. Okay, so ABE, we're on answer choice B, ABE and CBD. So A to B to E, and then C to B to D. This is going to be the correct choice. But let's go ahead and make sure that the other ones are incorrect to make sure. All right, so I was going to erase this here. Let's try it again. On C, it says A, E, B, and C, B, D. Notice that they took completely different routes, right? So they need to go in the same order. That didn't happen. So that is not a right answer choice. Let's try that one more time with the answer choice D here. Here it says A, B, E. Okay, that way. And C to D, that's incorrect. That's not the same way. The only answer choice would be B. Okay? One last thing, ladies and gentlemen, is that you actually could redraw the triangles, right, as they are. So A, B, E, and make them look the way you feel most comfortable looking at them. So we know this is A, so this is B in both parts here. Okay, this here in this particular situation would be A. And I'll do them in different colors here so I can kind of match. Sorry, I had it on pause this whole time. I was going to show you here that we went through a few different, you'll go through this problem here, this CJW triangle. This problem is very similar to the one we just did. Again, this is similar to the one we worked on together earlier. And then you're going to do an exit ticket. You can write as much here as you'd like. If you want to justify your response with any kind of words, basically tell me why you got the answer you did. That's totally fine and up to you. At the very least, I do need to see your answers here and any work that may correspond to your answer choices. Okay? Alrighty. Good luck. If you have any questions, shout out.